Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kevin, guest hosting for Tori and Kim. Today is Friday, November 5th, and we begin with a quick-thinking, iPhone-savvy 9-year-old saving her entire family from a dangerous carbon monoxide leak. Jaylene Brando was in her bed in Brocktown, Massachusetts, when she heard her dad yelling for help. Her mom had already passed out, and her father lost consciousness moments later. Still, Jaylene didn't panic. She grabbed her dad's phone and used his face to unlock it and dial 911, then got her little sister out of the house and into the care of a neighbor. All have since recovered. Investigators believe the leak came from a generator borrowed by the family after their home lost power in the recent nor'easter. The device was outside and had been switched off, but was apparently too close to the home, allowing the colorless, odorless gas to drift inside. The National Weather Service says generators should be kept 20 feet away from doors, windows, and vents. It also recommends carbon monoxide detectors. This Sunday at 2 a.m., most of us in the U.S. will fall back an hour, returning us to standard time and giving us the 60 minutes we lost when we sprang ahead last spring. The change means our days will get darker earlier, with each a little shorter than the last, until we reach the winter solstice on December 21st, which is when the North Pole tilts furthest from the sun. According to USA Today, the U.S. government started daylight savings time during World War I to lengthen the daylight hours and conserve coal. But the twice-yearly flip-flop has been a hot topic of debate ever since, and 19 states say they've had enough. Still, tinkering with how the nation tells time can't be piecemeal. It has to be done in Washington, D.C., and so far, there's been very little will to make a sweeping change. If you live anywhere near Atlanta, Georgia, we know where you'll be today. At noon, the city kicks off a parade for its World Series winning Braves. It'll be a two-part event, allowing the team to celebrate the present and honor its past. The festivities start at Woodruff Park, not far from its former homes at Turner Field and the old Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. The players will get 2 miles of love along the city's most famous thoroughfare, Peachtree Street, before pausing for an escort to their current home for another mile-long celebration. Topping it all off, a free concert featuring Atlanta rappers Ludacris and Big Boy at Truist Park. The Braves took down the Astros on Tuesday to win their first championship in 26 years. It's a potato so big, it has a name. Doug the Spud was unearthed in New Zealand, almost by accident. The Craig Brown family was weeding their garden when a hoe hit something hard. A little more digging, and up it came, all 17.2 pounds of it. Basically the same size as a small dog. According to CBS News, the current Guinness record for heaviest potato is a tuber from Britain that weighed in at just under 11 pounds. While the Craig Browns wait for Guinness to make it official, they've turned Doug into a bit of a local celebrity, dressing him up in a hat, dragging him around town in a custom-made cart, and, of course, putting him on social. In other KidNuz notes, for the third time in history, forecasters have run out of storm names. Wanda formed over the Atlantic last weekend, taking the last name on this year's list. Usually, letters from the Greek alphabet would be next, but the World Meteorological Organization voted to end that practice. So it's back to A's. If another storm forms, NOAA says it will be named Adria. And every year, when the weather cools down in the Pacific Northwest, a ginormous smiley face appears on a hillside between Grand Ronde and Wilhelmina, Oregon. The festive forest is the work of a lumber company in Polk County, which created the emoji back in 2011 with strategically planted larch trees. Every fall, the larch trees turn yellow and pop against the nearby evergreens. The company says they'll eventually harvest the trees, but till then is taking suggestions for its next wildlife work of art. That's it for KidNuz this morning. Now, our KidNuz quiz. How did a Massachusetts 9-year-old save her family during a carbon monoxide scare? By using her dad's face to unlock his phone and call for help. What happens on Sunday at 2 a.m.? We turn the clocks back an hour. How big is Doug the Spud? 17.2 pounds, possibly the biggest potato ever found. Who's celebrating their World Series win with a big parade today? The Atlanta Braves. In today's KidNuz Kicker, before William Shatner was offered a seat to the Cosmos on board Blue Origin, another celebrity was given the chance. But Tom Hanks said no thanks when he heard the catch. According to the A-lister, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos wanted the Apollo 13 actor to pay his own way, a staggering $28 million. Mr. Hanks said on Jimmy Kimmel Live this week that while he's doing good, he certainly wouldn't pay that much for something he could simulate right now. Then, while cameras rolled, he shook his chair, pretended to float around for a few seconds, shook it some more, and said, "I don't need to spend $28 million to do that." Before we head out for the weekend, we want to shout out our teachers in their classrooms, starting with, in Oklahoma, Miss Nips at Homer Elementary in Ada, and Miss Reich at Susauqua Elementary in Susauqua. Miss Hoffhines at Hillcrest Community School in Bloomington, Minnesota, where milk duds are teacher vitamins. Miss Morris and her roartastic lions at Jack Francione School in Soledad, California. And Miss Barros at the Luce School in Canton, Massachusetts. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to turn those clocks back, and we'll see you here for more Kid News Monday morning.